Hey everybody, welcome back to King Creek. I'm Stetson. Today I'm going to show a couple of videos I've been working on in our garden. We've kind of had some trials and tribulations this year, and we've had some good harvests along the way as well. That's organic corn for you. You can see behind me Mallory sunflowers. They're like 8 feet tall and done really well this year. And we have our tomatoes right here behind me. We have a Mexican sunflower. And if I stand next to it, it is so tall. Well, it's the middle of May, it's hot, and we're all sick, so I'm gonna pull the potatoes out today and set them out to cure, and I think that's about all I'm gonna try to do. We cured our potatoes outside because we had such a wet spring, but after they dried out for a day or two, we brought them inside and got them in the shade above the refrigerator where it's nice and cool. As it is with every spring, it seems like everything was ready all at once, so I had to bush hog our fields before we could finish working in the garden. It may look like our onions are growing in a jungle of their own, and they kind of are, but at this point they were done growing. I think I planted them too deep and a little early, and that's why they're so small. We also think that because we bought onion sets instead of seeds, they may have been stressed out before we ever even planted them. But we ended up getting a pretty decent harvest from them, and I think Mallory put away a couple of quarts of chopped onions.
Ooh, that one's mushy.
On the new side of the garden over here where we had the wheat and we tarped it this year, we planted half of it with corn. It was F1 Honey and Pearl from Victory Seed, and we thought we had really bad germination. So I ordered, I think, 4 packs, but there was 25 seeds in a pack, and planted, replanted. Nothing really did very well. I might have got 10%, 20% germination. And so I transplanted all the corn over into a block over here out of those 4 packs, and then gave up. And we said, okay, well, we'll just put down a whole bunch more beans. And so we did, I think, pinto beans and kidney beans. And we put, I think it was 4 or 6 rows over here, and 2 plants came up. So then we were going, okay, that's not just germination from the corn. Those 2 plants are still out here. I'll show you in a second. But we think we had crows or birds, squirrels, something came in here and was digging up all the seeds and eating them. So that's when I had to kind of shift and start planting the corn in our little seed trays. honey and pearl sweet corn didn't get as tall as we thought it should, but it has corns on the cob, so we'll see how they look. That's organic corn for you. Other than the caterpillar, it looks okay. It is juicy. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. When I saw our corn tasseling at like 2 feet tall, I kind of lost all hope and gave up on the honey and pearl, and we just went to the local farm store and just bought whatever they had. And I planted 4 more half rows over here on this side of the garden, and they're all about 4 or 6 inches tall right now, so maybe we'll get 2 harvests this year. Overall, our tomatoes have done really well this year, but we have had a lot of insect pressure all over the garden. But you can see there's a couple of plants here where they're missing a bunch of their leaves, but they're still producing good fruit. So we're just crossing our fingers that they'll limp along and get through the season. Once we started getting the insect pressure on the tomatoes, I put 7 dust out and just kind of spot treated them. And then you see this jalapeno plant here, the insects came, we think it was horned worms, but there's none on here anymore. But they came and ate all of the leaves off. And so I came and spot treated them. And then the next thing you notice over here, Mallory's pumpkin, there's one that's doing okay, but it was covered in these, we think they're called squash beetles. There's one right there. But there was probably 200 of them on this plant. And you can kind of see some of the 7 dust is, it's kind of clumpy now that it's been rained on. But so that one I was able to keep alive. This one here's doing okay, but we had one die right over here on this trellis, and then there was one here that's just never taken off. Our bell peppers have gotten very big this year. We've never had peppers do this well. We actually had to put tomato cages around 3 of them. And then this pepper plant here, it got hit pretty hard with whatever the insect is that was eating the leaves, but same thing, treated all these with some 7 dust, and so far we haven't had any more damage. If you look closely at our tomatoes, we started off with some jute, and that we were trying to use like an organic string that would kind of decompose in the garden or whatever, but we quickly learned that it didn't do too well once it started getting wet and a little weight on it. It gets loose. So then we just switched to like a polyester, I think. But it's just a layout string that you find at a construction store or something like that. But we'll just cut it down and take it out of the garden when we're done with it. But it does a lot better. You can pull it very tight. The jute breaks pretty easy. So maybe next year we'll find something that we like better. This is the first year we've done a Florida weave, and there's been a few things that we had to kind of learn and figure out along the way, but so far we like it. It feels cleaner and less bulky than a regular tomato cage.
Good job.
Tomato. You take it to the table? Good job. Get the other one, it's ready to. Here, get this one. Pepper. Wow, one-handed. When we were having trouble with the corn and the beans coming up, we put out a bunch of these windmills and balloons, and they didn't work either. So we ended up moving them over here the other day, and Georgia likes to come by and just swing and hit them and make them spin. Spring this year that we haven't been able to actually let our beans dry out, and some of them are like okay, but they look really bad and black. But some of them are like fine, but you see like this one here, it's like super wet down here on the end. Some of our beans have actually started sprouting underneath the mother bean plant. I'm just gonna let them go, see what they do. Well, thank y'all for sticking around. I know I was kind of jumping around with all these videos in the garden, but it's been an interesting year. I think if anything, we've learned that just keep on trying. If anything, you'll have a good harvest with one of your plants, even though you don't have one with all of them. If you want to see some more of how we started this garden, go check out our garden playlist. We'll put a link to it right here.